Peter here, aka Peter Freak Out 10, bringing another episode of the Movie Review Show with the good movies are always reviewed. Okay, back into our movie review today. And we're continuing the first month of Scream Fest. Okay, back into our movie review today. Now, today's movie was requested by Pete Moulton, and this is a guy who's requested dozens of films for me to review, and I thank him for that list, and I'll be sure to get to those films eventually. But out of all the films he's requested, this is the one he most eagerly wants me to review, and this is the one that he's gone on to say is one of his favorite films, and believe it or not, I never actually got the time to watch it. Despite me getting a copy for my birthday, I just had a lot of films piling up and wanted to pick a good time to watch it. So, of course, did not have the time and just put it off to the side. But, and this is a big but, since Halloween is among us, I decided now's a good time to watch it because, hey, it's a horror movie and I want to watch something different. So, let's give it a shot and see what it offers. And what film is that, you may ask? This is a film brought to us by a man who is remembered by many as one of the grossest directors out there due to his material that he uses for his horror films. And what film is that, you may ask? That film is none other than The Fly. Now, The Fly was a film made back in 1986 and was directed by the one, the only, David Cronenberg. Now, for those who don't know, David Cronenberg was a director best known for his films such as Scanners, this film, and Dead Ringers, and a few other films as well. And Videodrome, too. Videodrome with James Woods. How could I forget that? But David Cronenberg had a different approach to horror than any other director out there. His films were grotesque, they were gory, and they were weird. Incredibly weird. That's the way to describe his films. They are incredibly weird. But they were awesome. And this film was my great introduction to the director himself, and believe it or not, this is a remake of an old black and white movie made back in the 19-somethings, and from what I've seen of that film, the film has a completely different tone from this one, so of course there's a lot to compare, but I'm not here to do that, just here to talk about the film that I want to talk about. But as I said, The Fly was made in 1986. It was directed by David Cronenberg, and I just want to say something real quick. This is a double feature right here of The Fly and The Fly 2, and it's a very good DVD. But that's where the compliments end after how good it looks. And look. Bravo, Fox. You can't even get a double feature DVD right. Bravo. You can't even get it right. And on top of that, there are no features on this disc. Neither film has features. You're expecting to find a behind the scenes? Nope. You have to get a different edition of the film. And on top of that, it's just a waste of money because I saw the Blu-ray edition today, and the Blu-ray edition's like $15. Why would you spend $15? I found this for $3, and there's no features on it. Thanks so much, Fox. It's a good DVD, though. It's good looking and everything. It's just that's the thing that lowers it down. But The Fly stars Jeff Goldblum. You might remember him as Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. That's one of the roles that I think a lot of people knows about him from. And this is one of his earlier films. You also got Gina Davis, Mrs. Little from Stuart Little. And this was the film that got her and Jeff Goldblum together because they would later be married and later divorced. You also got John Geets. So, two great actors and actresses. Well, one great actor and one great actress, and a good actor who I never knew about is in this film. Now, with all the hype that everybody gave me about this film, what do I have to say about it? It's a great film. I was surprised with how great this is, and it's a very, very well-made film, and it is a monster movie. Don't get me wrong, it's a monster movie, but to me, there's something about it that's different from other monster movies that I've seen in the past. So, of course, it's gonna be well-made. I'm gonna put this right here. I want to keep it on the first fly, so that you can see me there, but yeah, but yeah, really, sorry, I had something in my throat. Really, really enjoyed this movie, and really thought it was well done, and just thought it was a really well made, well thought out film that I think if you like gross out horror and everything, I really think you're gonna like this film because there's something about it that I think really, really, really works. Sorry, I'm just pulling something up. Hate doing this in the middle of the video, but anyway, yeah, really, really, really enjoyed this film. I think that it's a very great movie. It's gross, too. I was surprised how gross it was. A lot of people were saying it's gross. I'm like, it can't be that gross. It is surprisingly gross. But, yeah, definitely, I'll tell you guys why I like the film later. But anyway, the basic plot of the movie is basically this. We meet this scientist named Seth Bundle, played by Jeff Goldblum, who is trying to develop this device that teleports you from one area to the other, and pretty soon this journalist who comes in, played by Gina Davis, who is fascinated with the experiment and agrees to help him. So, of course, she's helping him, and the two eventually fall in love, which, of course, upsets her ex, played by John Geets. And meanwhile, they find out it does work and everything, but he wants to try it himself, and basically, right before they even got it to succeed, the experiment would go wrong when something with blood or pretty much anything with body parts would make the thing malfunction and turn all of that life into a big puddle of blood. That's basically how I can put it. That moves. But, yeah. And Seth decides that he's going to try it himself to make sure it works on him. But out of nowhere, a fly gets in the machine, and his DNA mixes with the fly, and he begins experiencing changes. Like, he starts getting, like, insect hairs on his back. There's also a point where we find out that he's able to walk on walls, and his face starts changing, and he starts morphing into a fly. And basically, we find out that Gina Davis is carrying his baby, because the two had sex at one point, and we find out that that she wants an abortion because she's afraid that the baby's gonna come out deformed, and she does not want that because because the world does not want deformed people, and especially if you're a giant fly. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. But yeah, the two decide that they're gonna fight back after Seth goes nuts because he does not like the fact that the baby is gonna be aborted, and he pretty much just goes nuts because of the experiment. And so now it's up to her to stop it. Will she be able to stop the fly, or will she be the next one to turn into a hideous beast herself? Even more hideous than a fly itself. Now, The Fly is a really intense movie. It's really intelligent, too, with how it looks at the whole monster genre and everything. I think it's really, really unique for a monster film. Like, the story itself is really unique, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Ginger Snaps, a little bit. For those who haven't seen Ginger Snaps with, I think her name's Catherine Isabel. The story in this film kind of has that same feel where we see both Seth and Ginger started to go through changes, and the way they show that the changes are happening reminds me a lot of this film, of both films, so there's a comparison there. But to be honest, I think the film does it a little bit better. This film does it a little bit better than how Ginger Snaps did it, because it's more interesting to watch Seth do it as opposed to Ginger in Ginger Snaps. Not to say Ginger Snaps is a bad movie, it's just cliched, the movie. The movie starts off with an intelligent idea, and then it just throws it away in order for it to be like, let's be the cliched romp. The movie does not know whether it wants to be cliched or it wants to be smart. But The Fly, I think, goes at it in a route that when you watch it, you get this really you get this really pit in your stomach that I think brings the horror to a new level, and I think it's unique. I like the fact that it's not a cliched monster movie. It's more like the monster having to deal with what he is and trying to basically try to how do I put this? Try and deal with what he is as opposed to taking it out on other people. Because we see the changes that Seth goes through, and you're like, wow. But, yeah, the story I thought was well written. I think it's different from the other one in terms of its tone. Whereas the original was more scary for the sake of being scary. This one relies more on gross out horror and everything. So if you're a gore hound, this is your film. But the story was well written. I like the fact that a lot of the scenes didn't just copy and paste the original, so definitely well thought out. And I think more remakes like this, The Thing and The Blob, are what make them unique. Because they're not just carbon copies of the original, whereas films today just think like, oh, if we stick with the material of the original film, will be good. Which is not necessary. It's really not necessary to be the same thing as it was before, because I think that being successful in their own way, well, I take that back, being their own film while also being a remake and trying something new at least gets them somewhere, instead of copy and pasting and just stealing ideas from what made the original film so well done. But that's another thing where this film succeeds in, is that it's not just a copy and paste of the original. And director David Cronenberg, I think, steps it up a little bit, and I think really adds in this really heartfelt, emotional tone where you sympathize more with Seth's character than the people trying to survive, because you feel more sorry for him. And Jeff Goldblum's performance, I think, did handle the role well. I like how in the film, there's points where you see him, at the beginning of the film, you see him as this normal guy, and he's happy, and yeah, he's a little weird and everything, but once he goes through with the experiment, you see a totally different guy. You see a totally different person out of him. And I think that was one of the most unique things about the film is the fact that it tries to look towards the character, but trying to show the effects of an experiment in a unique way. And I think this film displays those reactions to the experiment really well. So, yeah. And Jeff Goldblum, I think, gives a really believable performance. And when you see him in the makeup, you're like, dang. Gina Davis, I thought, also did a good job, too. She was likable. She wasn't just a damsel in distress. I like the fact that she feels for the character, which is something that you don't see very often in horror films, whereas the girlfriend, she's like, get out of here. Being a stubborn woman, whatnot, and just caring about her safety. But here, Gina Davis seems to care about both her and Seth, and I think that's where the chemistry lies between the two, and I think it's brought in really well to the film, and the chemistry is definitely well written. And David Cronenberg did the screenplay with some other guy, and I thought he did an excellent job with the screenplay. A lot of the conversations were very mature and looked more towards being in the day that this film was made. So, yeah, they're definitely more mature than some of the dialogue written for remakes that I have seen nowadays. So, yeah, definitely thought that whole screenplay by him is good too. And what's the one thing that we come to expect from a film like this? The one thing we always want to talk about. The effects. Oh my god, this film is loaded to the brim of effects. It's bloody, it's gory, it is just amazing. This is all practical effects, like that one scene where that guy's arm is melting. Like, I could not see anything today being used to make that effect look so real than how they did it, than how David Cronenberg did it here. Because CGI is taking over now. This is how you do effects. Not this. In fact, even Robot Chicken in one of the things says, hey CGI, go straight to hell. Wish that would happen. That'd be the greatest thing ever. But no, they feel that's better. They feel that's better than anything today. But definitely the effects, they're definitely gory. When you see Seth in the suit and the makeup on him, you're grossed out. And I thought they did a good job with the effects. They made it look like a fly. I like the fact that they definitely understood what a fly is and the emotions of a fly and how it walks on the ceiling and everything. Like, because there are points where you do see him walking on the ceiling, and I thought they established him being a fly really well and the whole attitude of him being a fly. So, definitely did a good job with the effects and definitely gave Jeff Goldblum, I think, gave him this sort of like thing where he acts like a fly. I thought they carried that through really well. So, it's definitely a film I really enjoy. But there is one thing that I think lowers the film down. It's its ending. It ends very sourly, and after watching it, you feel tasteless after watching it, which is how I felt when I watched it. But overall, it doesn't ruin the whole movie. It's just something that I thought I'd bring up. And other than that, The Fly is a unique monster movie that I think anybody should check out. If you love David Cronenberg and you want a good monster movie, I definitely recommend you go see The Fly. It's an awesome movie. If you're looking for gore, this is your film. All in all, I give The Fly a 9 out of 10, and it deserves it. It's a film that is unique for the sake of being unique, and it adds a lot. It adds more sentiment than any horror film that I think I've seen recently. So definitely go check this film out. It's definitely one of my favorite monster films, and it's one of my favorite mad scientist films. So definitely a good film. But that's my review for The Fly, and I'm definitely, next time I'm going to do a review on The Fly 2 instead of The Blob. I decided I saved that for another time. And just going to give a quick update here. I went to the mall today. I picked up a few stuff. Also went to that shop I like to go to. And I picked up some films and a game. We're going to talk about those. But the first thing I got was a TV show, a season 1 box set of a show that I personally enjoy. I saw it on TV and I actually really, really enjoy it. And that TV show is Robot Chicken. This is the first season of it. I like this show. I really like pop cultural references. I like Seth Green too. I think he's really funny, and definitely think that he really gives a unique feel to the show and gives it a lot of humor. And the show's still going today. And I'm actually surprised about that, but. Here's the thing, evil scientist there. Definitely like how it's packaged and everything. I like the discs and everything. The discs are cool. I'm going to watch this tonight after I show the game I'm going to be playing. But that's one of the things I got. Definitely really happy I got that. Definitely going to get the more seasons once I finish that. Next thing I got was a film that was based on a Stephen King book that I'm going to review here, and I'm really happy I got this film, and that is Night Flyer on a Midnight Run. Got this film because it has Miguel Ferrer in it. I like Miguel Ferrer from The Guardian, and I think he was in RoboCop too. So definitely gonna review that film once I watch it. Definitely looks cool. I like Stephen King, and I like the idea of it. A vampire who flies by night and lands too close to home for comfort and kills people. He flies into airports and kills people. I thought that was unique, so definitely gonna check that film out and tell you what I think of it. Next one I got was a sequel to a film I reviewed over the summer, and that is Return of the Living Dead 2. Definitely gonna review this film, tell you guys what I think of it. And really happy I got it. Everywhere I look, I see this for like $12, $15, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm not spending $15 on this film. But I found it for $5. Definitely happy I got it. And gonna tell you guys what I think of it. Seeing as how I love the first one, really excited to get it. And the next one I got was a film that really excited to review, and I'm gonna talk about it. I like Bam Margera, and that is Jackass the movie. This is the unrated and special edition. I like Bam Margera, and I like skateboarding and such. I like the show. Definitely gonna check this film out and review it once I watch it. I'll be sure to tell you what I think of it. I've seen a couple of the Jackass stuff, and I like the show, so really excited to check out the movie and tell you guys what I think of it. So, yeah. Next one I got was a VHS tape. It's a film that is one of the scariest films ever made, and definitely gonna check it out. Watching the night, I'll tell you what I think of it. And that is The Blair Witch Project. I've heard so many things about this film. I'm gonna tell you guys what I think of it. Came from Blockbuster too, and really happy I found this on VHS, and never thought I could find it. So yeah, I review that. And the last film I got was a film that is the sequel to the Halloween films, and we come up to Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This is the one where they brought him back after Halloween 3 failed to make their own series after a lot of fans complained that they wanted Michael Myers back instead of them doing their own, like, anthology series. So, yeah. That's another thing there. And definitely gotta tell you guys what I think of that film once I watch it. And, yeah. The last thing I got was a game that I already reviewed the first game and picked this one up, and that is F.E.A.R 2 Project Origin. Really excited to play this game. I like the first one. Definitely gonna play it in a little bit, and then we're gonna watch Robot Chicken and then watch The Fly 2. So definitely got a night hit planned. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Tell me what you guys think of The Fly in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.